Yay, the music's back.
Hit it on the beat. Good evening, Internet. You're watching Non-Pro TV Party Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. recap show. I'm your host, Frank, joined not at all in studio by Matt, James, and AJ. On Non-Pro's TV Party, we do a live Google Plus Hangout series where we geek out about our favorite television shows and invite you all to join along. You can join along by, commenting on this video. Haven't really figured that one out yet. We're not just recapping TV. We are in love with it. On this wonderful episode of our TV party, we are going to talk about 2 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., specifically Chaos Theory and Many Heads, One Tail, in which we discover the truths about Lash and Andrew and Ward and the ATCU and just about every damn thing in Buddy. This was a lot of truths dumped on us in the last few episodes. Hey guys, what did you think of the big reveal, all the big reveals from S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Dude! I mean, I'm gonna say I really liked the this is technically the episode before the 2 were talking about it, but obviously I liked the Andrew reveal. Katie called it, and so did Matt when we were kind of going through it. But I liked it. It was neat.
We could pass. All right, Matt. What did you think? Just like opening feels, guys. Just let it go. What are your emotions?
I was actually kind of shocked that we're not even at the mid-season finale, and we have all these things getting revealed. And so I'm just super excited now overall because all of this stuff is really chugging along, and apparently we're not even at the big part yet.
Right, right, yeah.
I'm super pumped.
Yeah, I'm also strangely surprised that so much was revealed in a non-season. Well, first of all, it's 3 seasons in. I think by now I should stop being surprised that this is like a mystery show that actually reveals mysteries. Still kind of takes me back. Maybe I was burned too hard by other series. But yeah, they're doing a good job of revealing things that aren't in a frustrating way. They let you know, and by now we've had some people commenting on this on Facebook and Google Plus saying that by now they have enough faith in the writers where something happens not quite according to plan, they're excited by how it will curve. Not predictive. They don't know how it's going to happen, but they're excited about it. So I think that was pretty cool. The one place I'm going to just start off with what I didn't like was in the episode Chaos Theory, which is, if you remember in the timeline, a few episodes ago we revealed that Andrew was in fact Lash. This was a moment where Strucker, the boy Strucker, is dying in May's arms, or coma-ing in May's arms, and says that I don't remember what he says, but he basically it is revealed to us also that Andrew is Lash. It's pretty exciting. We all gave each other high fives virtually that we figured it out. And the next episode, everyone found out that Andrew was Lash in their own way. Many of them found out off screen. Hey, this is Andrew. First of all, I mean Lincoln. This is Lincoln. He has also been researching Andrew on his own time and discovered that there was this magical MacGuffin book. And the magical MacGuffin book had a trap in it that it wasn't like Andrew couldn't just be taking supplements. Why did we have to complicate it? I did not like that. I thought it was overly complicated and weird.
So, and I commented on this on the Google Plus or the Google Plus talk. I think you're right. I think the introduction of the MacGuffin book was maybe a little much, but I kind of liked that a bunch of the characters came to the same conclusion around the same time through their own means. And I say why, because I think it adds a clear and interesting dichotomy to what goes down later in the episode, where you have the entire team attempting to work together. The team, including Lincoln and the ADCU and all those things, and it's all okay, Coulson's will lead. We're gonna wait for his signal. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z, and they can't work together. They're just, the ATCU starts shooting, Lincoln starts shooting lightning. everybody's fighting, and then May has to go in and do her thing to get Andrew to go in. It was such a mess, and it all worked out, and I just thought it was interesting. It's interesting to see the team dynamic of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I don't think it's still that good yet, and I don't think they've been focusing on it. I don't think they've been focusing on it as a story point, but I think they've been doing enough of that sort of stuff that they definitely it's something that's going to come up. And I think it's going to be maybe a tie-in to Civil War that's going to split the team or something like that. But I thought it was neat that I liked that when they weren't trying to work together, they did so very well. But when they tried to work together, they couldn't do it.
Yeah, we have no reason to know. We don't know why James is translucent right now, but he is awash in his own glow. AJ, you were going to say something.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did like that they all came to the same conclusion individually.
I'm just leaving.
Because it gave them more of a reason to actually try to work together. Like, they were all very adversarial, and, had one of them figured out, hey, it's this guy, everyone else would have a reason to be dubious of it, Everyone would have a reason to question it. No one would go in whole hog. They wouldn't even try to work together.
Matt, Matt, do you have a reason why you like it?
That was a reason
I kind of liked it because I just like seeing the cast be competent and actually not just dumb for dumb's sake. But I do agree that especially with Lincoln, him just finding out is hey, I figured this out completely off screen. Let me tell Mac, who we suddenly got in touch with each other. I can understand why people would be kind of wait, what? This seems kind of out of nowhere. But I also agree with James. So it's kind of a cool dynamic where they really can't have nice things. Even if they figure things out on their own, once they try to apply that together, that's when disaster happens.
Mm. Well, I'll take Matt as a half point towards me. Yeah, James and AJ can go in the lovey-dovey. No, I just felt like it was rushed, but yeah, whatever. Was there anything else that stood out to you in that episode? Maybe some of the guys who liked it more can remind me of something that was pretty interesting. And this is not last week; it was 2 weeks ago. Anything?
I do like that Joey's progressing nicely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I feel like we had completely forgotten that he exists.
Lash didn't, but yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad to see he's still there. Matt, how about you?
One thing I actually really liked was the mini debate between Rosalind and Daisy when they're trying to when they're talking on the S.H.I.E.L.D. plane, and they're at the containment facility, and they actually finally come to blows over what's your real motive, what's everybody's real motivation for doing what they're doing about Inhumans. And Rosalind brought up a really interesting comparison to gun control. And how she said any maniac with a gun, watch out, but now we have humans that are literally weapons themselves. And thinking about it, you have a faction of these people, weaponized humans, calling for rights because literally my heritage, wanting to have the freedom to be able to control their own weaponry. And it was wow, this really does hit close to our world and reality, and there's obviously a lot you could probably argue about her argument. Obviously guns aren't the same as superpowers, and I think there's a lot you could debate about the differences, but that was probably the strongest debate or strongest point Rosalind has made
ever.
And I think it really has made her more into something okay, things are a bit more gray. It's not Daisy good, Rosalind bad. They both do have pretty valid points.
Yeah, that was a pretty powerful scene.
I'm going to say it's important by the end when they have Lash and everyone's well, Rosalind needs to take him because he needs to be sedated. We can't have him walking around, everyone really agreed on that at the end. It basically, it was a way that they both were validated in the episode, and that was really cool. I think for me it was all the character moments between Andrew and May. I mean, it was just all so heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, All right. Yeah, there was a decent amount of touchingness, I guess, from that scene. Character moments are probably Shield's strongest point. If you guys are comfortable, we can move on to the next episode because there's a lot of those. I don't know what just happened, but I'm going to take that as a yes.
Go for it.
Did a cat attack AJ? It sounded like someone just went after his camera. All right, so yeah, we're going to talk about the next episode. This one I really feel like has a lot of moments in it that we want to dissect, and that is I think it's one head, many eyes, two faces, one butt.
Many heads, one tail.
That's the one. All right, so in this episode, we. All right, let's each take a piece that we want to talk about. Anyone want to go first? I went first last time, so I don't want to take anybody else's thunder.
Okay, go for it.
I'll start with Ward.
Damn you!
Oh my God!
Oh, you want to start with Ward?
Yes,
Go for it, Matt.
Matt goes with Ward. Go.
So Brett Dalton has pretty much now established Ward as probably one of my top Marvel Cinematic Universe villains. Up there with Cal. So I would honestly say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has two of the best villains in all of MCU. Actually, Kilgrave is getting up there with Jessica Jones. But just the fact that I think really Ward is starting to realize now he's a villain. He's a super villain, and he loves every single second about it. Just the whole entire thing with the opening scene with him, like you find out, yes, Ward is still dangerous. He will take out a room of guys like nonchalantly, and then torture them for information. And then the scene on the plane I thought was absolutely brilliant, and just showing like how evil Ward is, and it's like he's doing. He's kind of doing it like an agent, like he's gonna parachute into enemy territory, but he's doing it like via sacrificing a civilian liner.
Yeah, like a Hydra agent. Like,
yeah, he is the Hydra.
To be that terrifying, but he was because he's evil.
Like he's standing there flirting with the waitress seconds before he decides to murder her.
Oh.
It's sadistic.
I don't think they necessarily end up dead, which is good.
He was the pilot.
Which is, TV.
He was the pilot of the plane.
No, he wasn't.
No, he just controlled the intercom system.
Oh, okay. I thought he was actually he sold his cover as the pilot.
No.
And then jumped out.
Ward is an very interesting element of the story. I'm going to move over to AJ since he's already talking. AJ,
I'm sorry.
What part did you like?
I thought we were talking about Ward. I was okay with
what part did you like? Did you also like Ward, or do you want to talk about something else?
Oh, I certainly liked Ward, but Fitz and Simmons!
Stop shaking your computer. Yes.
It's so awesome. I'm very happy.
Yeah. That's all.
It finally happened, and I'm so happy about it.
I kind of want to say it was kind of a monkey paw moment where, yes, they finally kissed, but they felt extremely bad about it immediately afterwards, and it was kind of this was kind of a mistake. So you got what you all wanted, but in the worst way possible.
I didn't get that. I don't think they felt bad about it. I want to just commend Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Fitz and Simmons' relationship because they're in such a hard spot, and I don't think I have ever, I'm really trying to think of a television relationship in that sort of love triangle that has been handled so adult. You know what I mean? Fitz is, not he's, obviously he's jealous and upset, but he's not being an a-hole about it. Simmons isn't, stringing two people along. She knows it's difficult, that she cares for these two people greatly. I mean, it is, honest to God, one of the most adult portrayals of, real, hard love. loving people is hard. It's not supposed to be easy, but most of the time it's set as, some sort of, it's either played for comic relief or it's over dramatized or it just, I mean, this is probably, barring that obviously somebody's stuck on on another planet in another dimension, this is like incredibly just well done and nuanced. Al said something on one of our threads a while back. He's like, I really wish Simmons could be in relationship with both of them. And I'm like, well, I don't think they're going to go that way, Al. But now I'm kind of like, this is just so good. I would go for that. I don't care. Like, they're just doing this so well.
I also
that I just don't want it to stop.
Thread. I was also going to comment on Al's comment. Al, who is occasionally on one of these shows, but is often a commenter on our group, said that he thought, well, why can't she be in a relationship with both? Because he was a proponent of that sort of thing, and I immediately refused it because it just felt like, well, why would you tack that on? Like, I mean, there's no reason to assume, like, we don't know the nature of her relationship with either of those characters. Now that we know that she does have feelings for both, it almost seems like it's possible that it would work out that way. So kudos to Al for that. I will say this. I think there are parts of this. Well, I'll stick with what I don't like. I actually did not like that they turned this into a romance angle. I'll be very specific about this. We did not have a lot of time with Simmons and the astronaut to realize, like, I find it slightly hard to believe it. I don't know, maybe this is my own, like, chip on my shoulder because, like, I ship them so hard. But it seems kind of odd that she would be in love with that person. Feeling guilty, wanting to get him home, caring for him, that both Fitz and Simmons do, realizing it's horrible that he's abandoned there, all of that made perfect sense. The love being, when I think Fitz specifically asked her, do you love him? She goes, yes. That seems like, I don't know. I mean, you could say that it's like, post-traumatic stress, or like love was kind of, or that they had a lot of time together that we didn't see on camera. It just honestly felt sort of manufactured for me. It felt like they tagged on romance to it. As much, I'm not going to discount anything that Matt or James or AJ has said so far. I get it, but it did feel a little weird. It felt like it was a little too strong of a feeling between two characters we barely saw together. That being said, it has potential. There's always a chance of finding out more details of why they feel that way about each other, or, love is a very hard thing to define. I loved Fitz's confused desperation, like that. I'm trying to help. What do you want from me? And she just wants him to be upset because she doesn't quite know what to do because she feels guilty, but at the same time feels responsible. She can't help her feelings. Like for Fitz and Simmons, it's completely their conflict is very real to me, and I like that. That was very good. Another relationship on the show that I find very interesting is the Phil and Rosalind thing.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Phil turned out to be the jerk. I mean, obviously, things can change. We might find out more information. But Phil was the one who was basically suspicious of Rosalind the entire time, slept with her even though he suspected she was being a counter agent or whatever. I like the fact that like we had said earlier in this hangout, it's gray. There's a lot of gray out there. There's not black and white. And I think it makes sense. I think it bothers me that Phil kind of betrayed Rosalind, as it seems like it is on the surface, but I also think it's really cool and makes sense for his character and the situation he's in. And I love the fact that there was a callback to like a little, not Easter egg, but like a hint, like a tell, when Phil explained why he didn't trust Rosalind by saying, you knew about Tahiti. That was a wonderful callback. That was a spy. That was somebody who's paying attention, so much so, even more than the geeks who watch the show, the obsessive geeks that watch the show like us. Like, he remembered that, and it just stayed with him the entire time, and I love that.
But at the same time, I'd say Tahiti's one of those things, like, to us, yeah, it's a cool callback, but to him, it's like, it's a thing that's pretty much got to be always on his mind. It's like literally always on his mind. Like, it's a heart-wrenching, life-changing event that very few people know about, and she named it.
Yeah.
You know, like his heart probably skipped a few beats when she did that, and he just didn't let it show. You know?
Yeah. I think it was very cool. It was a nice thing to like kind of screw. See, that's another thing. That's believable reasoning, right? So Phil is acting kind of like a jerk in this, but I accept him acting like a jerk because, like AJ just said, it's pretty horrible what she could have potentially been doing to him. She had been a double agent, and she poked him with that thing that is obviously deep in his psychoses, in his psychology. Now, I do think it was awesome, whereas on other things that came up, like with Simmons, I'm not 100% on that. Anybody else have anything you want to add to that?
He was kind of right. Just saying.
He was justified, I would say that, in his suspicions. Although I don't know why sleeping with her would be like, that'll seal the deal. Matt, you were umming?
I was going to say, he's... the more I see him, and kind of like what he said earlier in the episode to Mac, where the only spies without trust issues are either young or dead. Like, when he said that line, it was like, that was the most Nick Fury line ever. He's becoming Fury. And just seeing that kind of transformation where he's becoming someone earlier in the series, he hoped he wouldn't become. He thought he wanted the S.H.I.E.L.D. to be something new. But he's turning into something that, like, he is clearly turning into somebody else than he originally wanted to be. So I think that adds more credence to the whole entire idea of like tying into Civil War with the team splitting. There might come to a point where Coulson is the show's antagonist in one way or the other.
Interesting. Do you think we'll see any callbacks to finally finding out how Coulson joined S.H.I.E.L.D.? Just casually in conversation, we found out. You think we're ever going to see college-age Coulson researching his...
Oh, God, I hope not.
I would love that. I would love the hell out of that. Who would play college-age Phil Coulson?
I don't even know.
What actor? All right, that's gonna be our quiz. If you have an actor in mind, I guess a young actor, college-age actor who would play Phil Coulson, looks like enough like Clark Gregg to pass as him, leave it in the comments of this video, and we will read it aloud next show.
I need to find it, but that actually came. Funny you mentioned that. I came across this really adorable fan art of Coulson and May at the S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy, hanging out. And actually, I think it was like Coulson trying to drag May away after she got into a fight with somebody. And it was a really cool, and actually it made me want something like that, seeing like the early days of Coulson and Melinda training together. And it's something I kind of really want to see now, just like flashbacks to them back at the academy.
That would be kind of interesting. Oh, all right. We got one suggestion right away. German singer-songwriter Gisbert's Knipfner. I don't know how to do this, but I will share this video. Share the screen. Hold on. Ready, guys? Let's see if I can figure this out. Boom. Present. There he is.
Okay.
I honestly thought that was a young Clark Gregg. Like only slightly younger, but still.
You know what? I accept this.
Yeah, he can pass his college. So
they look very similar.
All right.
Yeah.
I like the way. I kind of like James's comment. Yes, they look very similar. Can we get on with this? Anybody have anything else they'd like to add? James, I haven't heard from you in a while.
I think the only other thing that really surprised me was May apologizing to Lincoln in the cockpit of the ship during one of the many parts of the mission to infiltrate the ACU. I don't know, just I didn't expect it. Like I was like everybody else. I'm like, oh crap. May wants to be with Lincoln, she's going to be like, what did you think you were doing, going all lightning and ruining, blah, blah, blah. But no, she felt bad, obviously. And I don't know, I guess I was with everybody else. Everybody had me believing that May was going to be, like, real pissed.
And then Lincoln had to go. of course, then Lincoln had to screw it up by then going, "Oh, I should be thanking you for shooting him when you had the chance." And then like her expression
Yeah, right.
afterwards, just you could tell like it was she had a flashback to that moment, and like you could tell from her face that that was a very traumatic flashback.
Not a tactful thing to
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
I think that she's probably going through a lot of stress, and I'll give that as a pass because I was very annoyed by that scene. And she was like, I just wanted to apologize. I'm like, come on. You haven't said a word to him in like an hour. You knew he was nervous. If you really just wanted to apologize, you should have probably at least said like, no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. We all know that's what would have happened. There would have been a lot of terse, nothing wrong, and then, oh, I was really just sorry. Instead of just being stoic and then making him think she's gonna kill him.
But it's funnier this way.
And
Yeah,
May's
it is.
gonna May, no
That's
matter
my
what.
problem. I don't like it when you do dialogue to deliver the joke. But speaking of jokes, I can't believe you guys haven't mentioned this because my least favorite spy in the show, Hunter, and Bobby had an amazing sequence in this episode.
Yo,
They did.
I am shocked James didn't bring up the Mr. Robot joke because I was waiting for you to
Oh
bring
my
that
God,
up because
right?
that
He's
was
in
my
the
favorite
hoodie
call
and
out.
the-
And the
I
FBI
just
guy
like
talking
that
about the
writers
dark
of good shows. I just like that writers of good shows are fans of other good shows. It makes me happy.
Yeah, I love Hunter's entire
Anti-colonial.
British hacker character. I love that they brought Sky in, or Daisy, whatever, as the technical expert. That made I was like, good, own it. Yeah, she is a computer hacker, genius, whatever. That's cool.
Yeah,
Bring
she's
that
not
back
just-
in. That was really cool. And he's hunting and pecking, typing.
It was hilarious.
And I do like that we actually got Mockingbird a little bit more to Mockingbird in the comics.
Yeah,
not
she's got her signature weapon now.
Right, and it works like a comic weapon,
She can
right?
throw
She's
them.
throwing it at people. It's coming back
Yeah.
to her hands. It's kind of got that Captain America tech, like as if it was, polished up a little bit for her batons. That entire sequence, both how it ties in with the crew and how they played off of each other and their backgrounds, and how it was humorous but at the same time moved the plot forward. That's S.H.I.E.L.D. at its best.
I am curious to see about the new villain we came out, the Inhuman villain. I don't know. Does he have a name yet?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was I'm sorry, I don't remember his name.
I want to call him the chairman.
Yeah,
the chairman from Iron Chef America. Yeah, Malik. That's right.
Malik. Okay.
Mark.
No, not Malik.
Mark Dacascos, which I'm getting from your comment, Matt.
Oh wow, I must have forgotten.
The fan club. Yes. It's hard to remember him because he's in such like iconic roles. Really, when you said he was he was in the Double Dragons movie, I'm like, that's where I know him. I always had a stroke. Yeah, that character was interesting. I mean, think about him. He's an Inhuman who is using his powers to hunt down other Inhumans, but not like Lash, where you feel like it's almost like an obsession. And actually, when you get your backstory, it kind of makes sense. He's a person who unwittingly turned into an Inhuman, and it makes sense. But with this guy, like, what's his motivation? What's his drive? That's going to be really interesting. What is going on with the ATCU, and how it ties in with Hydra, and the entire storyline. There's we could do a show for another hour. I love what they did with the imagery, with the reverse ram's head.
That's right. That was
with the NASA logo, or the agency of NASA. The sacrifices. We saw Hydra sacrificing people to the monolith. And while we all kind of suspected that's what was going on with NASA, it was cool to actually see the delivery of how this builds up. And Powers Booth as the current de facto head of Hydra is a welcome change from a lot of the kind of ridiculous cartoony heads of Hydra that we've had basically since Red Skull. Everybody else has been kind of a little goofy. Well, I'll say Captain America, Winter Soldier, I think. I think
I liked
Robert Redford did well. Robert Redford did well.
I liked what's his name in S.H.I.E.L.D. too, though. The first guy we had.
Oh, Garrett?
Not no, not Garrett. Garrett was definitely very cartoony. I like Garrett, but no, what white-haired guy that
Oh,
killed.
I liked him, but he was like mustache twirling supervillain. He was a Nazi that like experimented with people.
yeah, he
Like,
was literally mad scientist.
Oh
Now.
yeah.
that's not
You're
that
right.
that isn't good.
Yeah.
But like, there's something about the character Powers Booth plays, which is like, this is about power. This is about control. This isn't about doing evil magic hoodoo. Although I'm sure there will eventually be evil magic hoodoo, and there's probably a reason why they are this way. But it's more like, I feel like this Hydra, Powers Booth's Hydra, would be when they were, if they were uncovered, they would make some sort of plea deal, you know, get some sort of handout from the government, and then restructure and come back, and people would love them. You know what I mean?
Actually, yeah, no, I actually believe that. It's they're almost like an actual organization, not just like the shadowy group. It's like they're almost seemingly legitimate in their ways.
Right. It seems like they do a very good job of concealing the horrible things that they do, like throwing astronauts into space and killing them, but, like, you know, it's a dangerous job, so sometimes people die. I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on, but there's something about it, especially the way he deals with Ward, is sort of very dismissive, you know? Like, you're just pretending. You don't really know what this is. You're out for vengeance, and this is not what we're about.
Although I do think it was
ancient roots to Hydra, which was missing from even the first Captain America movie.
I do like that they actually. I was wrong. I thought Powers Booth was playing an original character, but it did say that the Malik was that guy from the Security Council. So that's a cool tie into the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
He was like from like the first of
people on
the Security Council from like the first Avengers. So we might see more people. I don't know. Who knows?
Hopefully, and I do thought, I mean, for those of you who read the comics and know that Hydra, it wasn't. I don't think it was always an organization that began in the Second World War. Ward's understanding of Hydra. And up until now, our understanding of Hydra in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you've got this like ancient snake cult, right? Aspect that we're all kind of familiar with from the comics, but not so much in the movies and the TV show. So I'm interested to see how they're going to build more mysticism and magic in it. I do like that. I think it's. I'm not really one of the weak parts I think of the Marvel universe is that many of the villains aren't that memorable.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a handful that are, and I have no problem with this being an organization that is. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, plus Red Skull was spending so much time, researching the mysticism stuff anyway, Like, it just makes sense.
Right. Yeah. It makes sense that it would be more than just the Norse gods were real.
Yeah, it makes sense that he just found it and owned it,
Let's see set. Let's see some other gods from the comics show up. That could be interesting. Any last words as we wrap this long episode of our Hangout? Anything interesting you'd like to share with us? Any of you?
Well, obviously there's no show this week. I think they're actually taking a hiatus. I don't know if they give it an official reason, but I have a feeling partially it's so people would watch Jessica Jones, and then they'll be set to go back to S.H.I.E.L.D. next week. Also, I think they recently showed a trailer for Peggy Carter season 2.
Agent Carter, yep.
Agent Carter season 2.
Agent Carter's going to Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Mm-hmm. As am I. Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and everyone enjoy your holiday week. We're not going to see you again until 2 weeks from now, but you can watch all our videos if you subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/nonproductive. This has been like a pleasant surprise season. I've never thought ill of the show, but I did not expect so many gems or gemmas.
Oh.
I did it! What? Oh my god, I went there! Woo! I went there. All right, this is stupid. So, I'm Frank, and that's everybody else. That's James, Matt, and AJ. We're Non-Productive. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment, and tell us who you think should play college-age Agent Coulson, because I want to see it. All right, bye, guys.